Good morning, evening, or afternoon, whichever one applies to you currently. In the last video, we took a look at the Dewalt brushed kit, and today we're going to be looking at the Ryobi kit. What you just saw was a small example of what the Dewalt versus the Ryobi impacts can do. Now, the reason you saw 18 seconds with the Ryobi versus 14 seconds with the Dewalt was because the Dewalt had a 4 amp hour battery, and the 1.5 that came in the kit is what I was using with this. Who are you going for? Now, as you can see behind me, I have my Dewalt corner, my Ryobi corner. I also have my Milwaukee shelf. So I am not married to the idea of any particular brand. I like what actually works, what's affordable, and more than everything, what's reliable long term. So there's 3-year warranties, 5-year warranties. Rigid has a lifetime warranty for their tools. So it's a mix and a blend, and you'll eventually find out that just having a little bit of everything is ideal. Now, before we take it over to the table, I just want to apologize really quickly. I did not know that the last video was going to be 30 minutes long. That is crazy. Again, I did want to do in-depth just to make sure we get all the information, but at the same time, I did try to cut out as much as I could while being as informational as possible. That being said, the video here is not going to be the same way. I'm going to try to keep it moving, keep you guys engaged, and let's go. Now, even though the whole point of this video is comparing impact driver and drill sets, if you're looking to just get the 2 tools with a charger, couple batteries, and a bag, you can get that as a 2-tool kit. However, they only come with 2 1.5 amp hour batteries. In order for you to get the kit that has a 4 amp hour battery, I highly recommend this kit that you're seeing in front of you, because for $200 regularly, and it's even off, you can save $40 right now as of making this video, you get a circular saw and you get a work light. Really quick, just to be clear, this is the PCG002 charger that comes with the Ryobi kit. I like that it's the full size. They also have a smaller black one that is the compact charger. I like this one because it actually supports the full weight of the battery, and more than anything, you get that nice satisfying click. But when you actually plug it in, here's what I definitely like the Ryobi style of charger over the Dewalt, is that you actually get multiple colors. So when it's not flashing, or when it's flashing red, it means it's not charging. When it's flashing green, it's charging. When it goes solid green, it means it's done charging. And when it's solid red, it means there's an issue with temperature, or for whatever reason, it is not charging. With Dewalt, you just get one light that is red. Now quickly, unlike the Ryobi, when you pop on your Dewalt charger, you only get one color. It's flashing when you are charging, and it's a solid red when you're done charging. And then the 2 red lights come on when there's some issue. With the Ryobi, the green light means it's charging, solid means it's done, but there's red only when there's an issue. So I like that there's differentiating colors, so that even from a distance, I can quickly look at my Ryobi battery and I can tell if there's something wrong or if it's all good. As long as I see green, I know to ignore it. As long as I see red, that means something's wrong and I can address it quickly. On our right, we have the drill driver. This is the PCL 206. It's rated in first gear for 0 to 450 RPMs, and our second gear gives us 1750. So unlike the 1800 of the Dewalt, usually with a bigger battery, we'll see a slight increase in the RPMs than what's advertised, but if it can get at least 1750, we know we're on the right track. Again, the Dewalt gives 1800. I need to give like I'm gonna go get like a Lazy Susan or something so I can give like a nice 360 view. Hold on. This here is a 360 view. On the back, you'll see that it is a 1+, meaning that it is compatible with any 1+ Ryobi battery. Not to be confused with 1+ HP tools, which benefit from the high performance by having 2 contacts in the back, leaving a better discharge rate for more energy. So with those batteries, you may receive better performance than what's advertised. Otherwise, standard 1+ batteries from Ryobi. With the jaws retracted, we're at 189 millimeters, or about 7.5 inches. And because battery height can vary based off of what amp hour you do have, without a battery, It's at 190 millimeters or 7.5 inches. As for the PCL 235, it is rated for 3,400 impacts per minute and 2,700 RPMs. Now, the only thing that I have a small gripe with this, like I said in the last video, I like that 3-light design on the head. There is a light down here, and it is plenty bright. However, I like the lights to be facing directly what I'm actually fastening, rather than just kind of flooding the bottom of the area. So if I happen to be working in an area where the bottom part is covered, then I'll have to either wear a headlamp or add some kind of light to the environment to make up for it. But it does have a variable trigger. Very nice. For the drill, we have our 4 amp hour battery. I'm going to be measuring both with a 4 amp just because it's heavier, just so you got a good idea. This is the 4 amp hour with a belt clip. So you're going to get about 1.9 kilograms, otherwise 4 pounds, 3 ounces. For the impact driver, we've got just under 1.9 kilograms as well, or 4 pounds, 3 ounces. Again, this is with a 4 amp hour battery and a belt clip. I will leave a link in the description for the Husky 3-pack of universal belt clips or belt holsters. They also come with the 3 screws for 3 holsters. So I put 1 on the drill, 1 on the impact driver, and 1 on the light. Now, of course, I did say that you should be using the bigger battery. However, I just want to see the RPMs with the 1.5 amp hour on the impact first. 2952. So unlike the Dewalt, even with the smaller battery, this thing goes. And it is fully charged. Well, it just dropped the bar now. Even with a non-fully charged battery, this thing is going and going. For those of you out there who are trying to test with tachometer tape and you run out, you could always use a very glossy duct tape or masking tape. So don't feel like you have to spend $1 million. This is with the 1.5 amp hour, fully charged. Let's go. So about 443, 444, just under the 450 that it's rated for. Let's see what happens when we slap our fully charged 4 amp hour into the drill. Let's see if it gets at least 450 in gear 1. So we got about 490, which is just about what the Dewalt put when we actually put a 4 amp hour into it. So the drills seem to be even in terms of RPM. Now it's time to see whether or not the torque is different between the 2 drills. Now the PCL 206 is rated for 515 inch-pounds. However, it will not take that much to get through this wood, so it wouldn't be really fair to the test to just kind of force it and probably get 170, 200 inch-pounds from it. What we're going to do instead is just run 3 down and see how long it takes to do that. And then I'm going to pull out the Dewalt and run 3 down with that and see which one is done faster. I will be doing them individually, not in a row, because there's more error from moving from one bolt to another, and we want to eliminate as much human error as possible. Now we've got the Ryobi, 1/4 inch, 7/16. Got our battery, 1.5. Gear 1. Ryobi round 2. 1, 2, 3, go. The socket came off, but I was able to stop it. once we talk about inch pounds being pretty negligible, honestly what I prefer is something that's going to be more efficient. However, even though this tool is more efficient, this price tag is looking better. So if you're looking to save money, you can go with the Ryobi. If you're looking for a fraction of a second faster, you're going to go with the Dewalt. Again, it's not going to save you hours and hours of work when they're pushing the identical speeds. What we're talking about next would be higher applications, so harder woods, pressed woods, treated woods, and if we're looking at paper, then the Ryobi has it. If we're looking at light fixtures, then that tiny front light is pretty bright. Ryobi's bottom facing light, I like that it turns off immediately after. Some people prefer to have a light that stays on for a little bit. Other people don't like it because it kills battery. I guess it would depend on how big your battery is, but ultimately neither of them is a bad choice. Now, besides the ability to do impacts, there are three things that we look at when talking about an impact driver, and that is size, comfort, and utility. So, if we look at the handles on the Dewalt, it's going to be looking smoother. On the Ryobi models, you're going to see a little bit more rougher grip, and if you happen to like that and it happens to be more tactile for you, then there's no problem there. If you like a smoother finish, go with the Dewalt. If we're talking about comfort in terms of size, if we look back to back, the Ryobi actually has about an inch on the Dewalt. So if you're looking for something bigger, go for the Ryobi. If you're looking for more compact and you're looking for something that's easier to hold all day, then the Dewalt's got it there. So we're talking about ergonomics, we're talking about lighting. Now what's left? Got to talk about the impacts. It doesn't matter if they're orange, green, blue, purple, or anything in between. It's about what they can push. So I'm going to go grab some lag bolts. We're going to see what happens. We're going to use 3 times for 3 different bolts, and we'll see which one comes out on top. It could be Ryobi, it could be Dewalt, who knows? But wait, hold on. Milwaukee has just made a guest appearance. Rather than making a third video, I figure I'd just squeeze it in. This is the 260620 from Milwaukee. For the sake of this test, it does have 2 modes. It is in the same price category, and essentially it is directly competing with the brushed models from Dewalt, Ryobi, and so on. We're going to grab some bolts, we're going to see about this, and I'm going to take some quick measurements, and then we'll get into it. For the Milwaukee, we've got 1.762 kilograms. Otherwise, for those of you who don't use those units, we got 3 pounds and 14.1 ounces. For length, we have just under 7.3 inches. Otherwise, 185 millimeters. For height, we have just under 7.7 inches. Otherwise, 195 millimeters. For our RPM, the highest we had 293. Certainly not the 450 that is showing here. I'm going to go grab a 3 amp hour battery, even though that's not what comes in the kit, just to see where the line is as to how we get that performance that's supposed to be advertised. I have returned with a 3 amp hour fully charged gear 1, and we're going to see whether or not we can get that 0 to 450. If we can get to 450, then the 3 amp hour is where you should be starting. So about 327 is where we're dancing with this thing. I'm going to go grab a 3 amp hour high output and see if maybe one of the high outputs can give it a kick in the. So we got ourselves a 3 amp hour high output battery. These are the CP, which is for compacts. So they have half the footprint of the full-size XC batteries. Let's see if we can get that 450 fully charged. Gear 1, go.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We are still at 337, even with the high output. Damn, Milwaukee. This one is definitely not the pick. If you have the choice between this and the Ryobi or the Dewalt, go for one of the other two. So let's do some quick math on the Milwaukee for run times. We have 8.95 seconds for the first bolt, and on the second pass we had 7.62, giving us 16.57 seconds. We divide that by 2, and our bolt driving time is about 8.28 seconds. Definitely slower than the other two, and when I mean definitely slower, I mean it takes about twice the time as the other two. The other two were coming in at about 4.5 seconds respectively, so yeah, Milwaukee kind of got left in the dust here. Now again, this is a 2 amp hour battery. The others were using a 1.3 for the Dewalt and a 1.5 for the Ryobi, so there should be no excuse here. Again, it's showing 1 notch down now, but all's fair. Milwaukee, not the right choice here. Hey, thank you for watching the video so far. Before I put the Ryobi and Dewalt impacts side by side to the test, I just wanted to say that if you have any questions about tools, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. If I don't have the answer right away, it is my pleasure to go digging for that information for you. If you've already made a decision, fantastic, and if you're waiting for the end for me to tally up all the pros and cons, also fantastic. Stick around. Here we got the Ryobi impact. We're just going to give 3 separate times for 3 impacts. We got 3-inch lags here, standard 7/16 for the socket. 1/4 inch, we're using the 1.5 as well as the 1.3 that came with the kit for the Dewalt, so everything is even Steven right out of the bag. 3, 2, 1, go! Three, 2, 1, go! Ryobi number 3. 3, 2, 1, go! And we're here with the Dewalt. Same bit, same 3-inch lags. Dewalt number 1. 3, 2, 1, go! Dewalt number 2. 3, 2, 1, go! And our final, Dewalt 3, 3, 2, 1, go! For the Ryobi impact, 98.9. Yep, we got 100 and 100.5 at the hottest point for the Dewalt. Dewalt being the better impact is running a little hotter. Ryobi's running cooler, but again, it took clearly longer to get the job done. So, if you happen to be in the market for a Milwaukee drill, do not get the 260620. Don't get the brushed impact. Go for the newer stuff. Go for the Fuel, the brushless, and save yourself the headache. If you happen to see a good sale for the Dewalt or the Ryobi kit, nothing wrong with them. However, let's go tally up and see which is the true winner. I see you watching me watch you watch me watch you. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. I have lost my pants. And we got some notes so that you can find out who the winner is between Ryobi and Dewalt in this brushed contest. Disqualified, put an X through Milwaukee. No, brushed or bust. The winner is... It was almost a tie, but Dumbledore stumbled in and he had to give a couple extra points, and so there's only 2 things, 2 points that stopped one from beating the other or got one over the top to beat the other. So for Dewalt, I gave a +1 for the drill. For Ryobi, I gave a +1 for the drill as well. We're talking about a 4.3 second average for Ryobi and a 3.95 second average for Dewalt. And you're thinking, wait a minute, if Dewalt's faster, why not just give it to Dewalt? Well, when you're talking about fractions of a second, it's not something that you're gonna just ding the other competitor for. So in that case, they're pretty much tied if you're talking about a quarter of a second or just a little bit more than that. We're talking about like, 0.35 seconds. It's not worth that third of a second. In my book, I wouldn't ding anybody for it. If we're looking at price, point goes to Ryobi. If we are looking at the impact, Dewalt's got it. Smaller form factor, it's faster, and it's a little stronger. The impact lights, I had to give another point to, because the Ryobi's got that bottom one, but if for whatever reason it's obstructed by something, it's a useless light. Wherever your head is pointed on the Dewalt, you are going to have illumination. So I had to give 2 points to the impact for that. On the Ryobi side, we have to give a point for the battery. And the reason is, the 1.3s that come with this kit do not come with battery indicators. Therefore, with the Ryobi, you can actually check whether or not you got a dead battery that you're bringing onto a site or that you're putting in your van if you're a mobile mechanic, and that's something that's essential. I can't just walk around with a charger everywhere and every 30 minutes plug in to see where my battery's at. It's about convenience as well as utility. So, point to Ryobi for the battery. Over on the Dewalt side, we're giving a point for the bag being rugged. Now, if you look at the contractor bag, the smaller one that comes in the 2-piece Ryobi kit, it's okay. It's probably on par with the one you're going to see with rigid, but the Dewalt bag is more on par with the tougher canvas that you see with Milwaukee bags, and that's something I can actually appreciate. It's not just your tools, it's what's going to get them to the work site safely, and having a rugged bag is exactly what's going to do that. So point to Dewalt for the bag. We're now at 4 points for Dewalt, and 1 more point for the charger. Having multiple lights or different colors allow you to, from a distance, see the indicator and know if something's wrong, if there's a fire, if there's a short circuit, if your battery is overheating, or if you're working in a place that's really cold, it'll tell you the battery's too cold to charge, and you can make plans accordingly. So for that reason, Ryobi gets 4 points, Dewalt gets 4 points, and it is time for the bonus points. Dewalt gets 2 bonus points for 2 things that I didn't include earlier in the video because I wasn't really paying attention to them up until now. And that is the belt clip. Dewalt includes a belt clip. Now, unfortunately, they don't include 2, which it would have been nice to slap one on the drill, but it does have the hole if you want to get one later. But it comes with a belt clip. Ryobi, I had to buy them separately. That's a +1 because I love either clipping it to my belt or having it hooked somewhere where it's up and out of the way, away from water, away from animals, and away from the potential of falling over and potentially damaging a wooden surface or a tile with a drill bit that may be currently installed. And last but not least, before my camera battery dies, I wanted to say that the final point is this right here. You're thinking, what the heck is this? Well, that's a 1/4-inch shank because the Dewalt Impact has the quick connect. When you put this, 1 click, that's not coming out. The only thing you have to do is pull on the collar to release the bit. But when it comes time to install, if you're in a rush or if you need to do something with one hand, you simply push in that click. That's simple, that's done. That's fantastic, because sometimes you don't always have 2 hands to be able to just throw on a bit, or you don't want to be fighting with 2 hands while you're up on a ladder. That's very convenient, especially for electricians that have to switch between Phillips and slotted. It is a fantastic thing to have. Unfortunately, the collar on the Ryobi does not have that feature. No matter how much I push it in, there is no snapping. It will just come out. The last thing you want is to be fiddling with this up on a ladder, and then you just dropped your bit 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 feet down, and now you have to stop what you're doing and carefully get back down the ladder, get your bit, and then come back up. Or you dropped it in the rain, you dropped it in a spot where you've completely lost it. Maybe you're working near the street, that just went down the sewer. Or the drain, whatever you want to call it. For that reason, the winner of Brushed or Bust is Dewalt. So, if you happen to be in the market for the Dewalt set, I will leave a link in the description. If you are in the market for the Ryobi set, which it's also a good set, I will leave that in the description as the 2 kit and the 4 tool kit that I personally own. Thank you for getting this far. I'm gonna go get some rest. And until next time, work smarter.